Hola, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest goblin that ever lived is here on my Blugoblin X channel for a special giant-sized back issue review video. Now, keep in mind, just this one thing. I'm doing back issue reviews for the moment because I am really running behind. And there's still a lot of issues. There's still a lot of comic books that I still wasn't able to get, so there's going to be even more back issue reviews even after I do this one. With the Christmas holidays and everything, and the shopping and the unexpected bills popping up and everything, comic book funding is getting kind of really tight. You know, all that stuff, and it's just, wow, I am really seriously running behind. I still probably got about like $30-40 worth of comic books that I have yet to buy at the time that I am filming this video. A lot of annuals. I still haven't read the so-called epic conclusion to Infinity yet, so please do not spoil it for me. I'm also very far behind on my Dark Avenger Ink Plus videos. I will get to them. I was able to read the first part of Cataclysm, All New Spider-Man, and the latest couple issues of Savage Wolverine. I was able to read those, and I will film reviews for those books for Ink Plus as soon as I can. We're also kind of behind on Arkham Asylum Studio, but I just put up a video not too long ago with the Lord of the Rings action figures. Go check that out at Jennifer and I, our dual channel, Arkham Asylum Studio. Go check it out. Go subscribe. You won't regret it. So, for this, I'm not going to separate publishers. I'm just going to go alphabetical order and just run right through it. Here we go. We're going to start with All New X-Men, number 19. Brian Michael Bendis, still doing a fantastic job with the writing. Peterson's artwork is simply incredible. I love it. But, yeah, this is the X-Men, the original X-Men, now working with Kitty Pryde and Dick Summers' team of the old Weapon X facility, his new Xavier School for the Mutants. This is one of their first outings and everything. And they come across these soldiers, and I mean, you want to talk about stereotypical Bible-thumping characters. You got it right here. And I talked about it on Facebook, there's a moment where Jean lets loose her powers after she feels insulted and threatened and everything, and she's like, "How dare you!" I mean, it's an awesome moment for her, but I just can't help but notice the fact that Marvel had to get in this gigantic 2-page spread of a nicely angled ass shot of a teenage Jean Grey. Fucking ew. You silly fuckers up there at Marvel have forgotten that this Jean Grey is a goddamn teenager. I mean, I could understand Jerry the King Lawler getting a rise out of something like that, but us grown people who know better? I posted on Facebook as a joke and out of a little bit of disgust. She's a kid. We're not supposed to stare at a child's ass. That's ridiculous. That was probably my biggest complaint with the issue. Bendis, you're out of your fucking mind sometimes. But overall, the rest of the story was really nice. For what it was, I enjoyed it. I thought the storytelling flowed very well. The action was good, despite the disturbing ass shot of young Jean Grey. But other than that, I really can't honestly complain. It's a solid issue, really good stuff in here. I'd say pick it up. Go ahead and pick it up. You know, it's just very well done to me. I really liked it. I didn't want to spoil everything. Moving along to Amazing X-Men number 2. Wow, I gotta say, I do love this cover. You know, you got Wolverine and North Star over here. You got Storm, Kitty, and Iceman over here, divided by Kurt's tail and everything. It's just great. This is the second part of the quest for Nightcrawler. Jason Aaron, fantastic writer. I'm not the world's biggest fan of Ed McGuinness's artwork because in the past he used to draw everybody really roided up and really buff and, just it looked like everybody was flexing rather than posing or, stuff like that. But here he's toned it down a little bit, and I do appreciate that. So for the most part, I do enjoy his artwork in here. And it's just so nice to see Firestar working with the team again. I mean, Firestar has always been one of my favorite characters. And I'm not talking about the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends cartoon. I'm talking about New Warriors. That's where I first saw Firestar. And I got that 4-issue miniseries of Firestar. I love this character. I've always had a special place in my heart for Angie. And it's just so refreshing to see her with the X-Men again. This is just really, really good stuff. And it's also nice to see Kurt. Now, remember what Kurt looked like when he died? Yeah. He had the X emblem on. He died in the Second Coming story. But did anybody really stop to notice that Kurt's back in his, what I call his Claremont look when he's in the afterlife, when he's in heaven? Yeah, we don't get the same. Nightcrawler does not look the way he did when he died. The Nightcrawler we're getting is classic Nightcrawler. I call it the Claremont Burn Nightcrawler. That's my Nightcrawler. And other than that little plot hole, I don't mind it because that's the look that most people identify with Nightcrawler. But Wolverine is hearing voices. He's hearing a voice talk to him saying that, whatever you do, don't fall. He's him and Northstar on his pirate ship, and Northstar can't help but channel the mojo of Peter Pan in here. It's just fucking great. I loved it. Storm, Iceman, and Angie are literally in hell fighting off demons. But you ever heard the term on a cold day in hell? I'll let that sink in for a minute. Damn. Wow. Great moment in here concerning Iceman. Holy fuck. Just really, really good. And another certain someone who recently passed away in the X-Men mythos reaches out and speaks to Logan, and I was like, yeah, that actually makes sense. And okay, but I mean, it flowed very well. It was a nice action-packed. It was a fun read. I really enjoyed it. This was really, really good. No complaints here at all. Really good stuff. Awesome. And a simple cliffhanger at the end. Nothing too jaw-dropping, nothing too fancy. It's simple, right to the point, and it just makes you want to read the next issue that much sooner. Fantastic stuff. I can't complain. This was really, really good. Moving on. Here's a really old one. Aquaman Annual #1. You can see the obvious reason why it took me so long to get this. $5 price tag. Was this worth $5? Depends. It depends on how big of an Aquaman fan you are, I guess. For me, it was barely worth it. Barely worth it because I was entertained by this story. It's Aquaman and the Others. This is the trial of the Others, and it's very appropriately titled like that because the Others are put on a trial, but not in the way you'd think. The trial actually refers to a test of their loyalty to each other. And minor spoilers in here. There is a betrayal in here. But it's caught right off the bat, and there's no really big dire consequences from this betrayal. It's caught right off the bat, and it's dealt with in a quick fashion. But I'm not going to spoil who does it. I'm not going to spoil what becomes of it, and I'm not going to spoil what they do to resolve it. But that's what I'm mildly going to spoil. And the Aquaman and the Others are trying to recover an ancient artifact from, of all people, Morgan Le Fay. Morgan Le Fay. Apparently, both Marvel and DC have their own interpretations of Morgan Le Fay, and in here we get to see the DC representation of LaFay. Not bad. Not bad. I mean, it was a solid story. It doesn't really have anything to do with the major series going on right now. But for what it was, I did enjoy it. And good old Mr. Ostrander did the writing, so I can't complain either. So this was really good. This was really good. Was it worth $5? I'm going to leave that up to you. For me, it was, but maybe it wasn't for y'all. You know, it just take it for what it is. It's a one-and-done, entertaining story, and I really liked it. Moving on. Oh boy. Aquaman, number 25. The epic finale of Death of a King, and this is Jeff Johns' final issue of the series before the new writer steps in. Oh my god, where do I begin with this? This was incredible. I mean, the action here was really good. The drama, just incredible. Just really incredible. After reading these 25 issues of Aquaman for the New 52, I dare any motherfucker to come on here and say Aquaman sucks now. Forget about that stupid shit with the Super Friends thing. Forget about that. And forget about Seth Green's constant disrespect of the character and that fucking robot chicken shit. You want to talk about how awesome Aquaman is? You read this shit. 25 issues and I've loved it. It is great. I know I give Jeff Johns a lot of shit. I know I do. And yes, I still do think he's overrated. But I will give credit where credit is due. He's earned it when it comes to Aquaman. Mr. Johns, I'm gonna miss you when you step down from this title. I didn't like all of your Green Lantern stuff, and I sure as hell didn't like all your stuff with the Flash. And your Brightest Day stuff could have been better. I mean, but my God, you poured your heart into this, and for that I thank you. This was fantastic stuff. The way this ends, I'm not gonna spoil how Arthur and them deal with the dead king. All I'm gonna say is, damn. But then we have a major tease at the end, and y'all know how I feel about superheroes being in committed relationships. I don't see any problems with it. I think it adds realism to the characters. I don't understand what Dan Diodato's problem is with heroes in committed relationships. Maybe I'm being a little biased in here because I'm in a committed relationship. I'm fucking happy. But what if I was to suddenly develop a bunch of superpowers? If I were to develop superpowers, no matter what they are, according to Dan Diodato's logic, I would have to break up with my girlfriend and spend the rest of my life fucking alone. Fuck you, Diodato, for that logic. But we get a major tease concerning Aquaman and Mera. And all I'm going to say is, Jeff, well played. This was good. Solid read. Epic finale perfectly describes this. I enjoyed it. Excellent stuff. I loved it. Great. Moving on, we're going to Captain Marvel number 17. Kelly Sue DeConnick. Look, this is where I think I'm going to start getting some hate mail. Okay? Don't get me wrong. Kelly Sue DeConnick is a great writer. She is. She's good. But after this series ends, I know it's going to get relaunched with a new number 1 sometime next year. I can't think for the love of me why. Marvel's got this. Marvel seems to have a hard-on for renumbering shit back to number 1. I mean, I believe Deadpoolzilla said it the best. Can't any series now make it at least to issue 50 of issue 50 anything? It's like once it reaches issue 30 something or 20 something or 40 something, renumber it back to number 1. Why? What's the point? Because that's only going to confuse readers. Yeah, I want Captain Marvel number 1. Which one? Do you want this Captain Marvel number 1, this Captain Marvel number 1, or this Captain Marvel number 1? Or do you want Captain Marvel number 1 from DC or from Marvel? How many number 1s does a fucking series need? It's ridiculous. It was stupid in the 90s, and it's stupid now. But for this issue 17, I thought it was really good. Storytelling wise. The interior artwork still gives me a goddamn headache. It is so fucking atrocious. I hate the interior artwork in here. I fucking hate it. But in this issue, we get to see the city of New York truly appreciate and show their love and admiration and respect for Carol, which is well deserved. But like I said, the interior artwork is fucking ugly. I hate it. And I'm going to go out on the limb and I'm going to say this right here, right now. Once this particular run is done, I think I'm done with Captain Marvel because, like I said, Miss DeConnick, she is a good writer. But I just personally feel like this stuff isn't wowing me as much as I think it should. I think the artwork is helping to hurt it for me. I don't see the gloriousness of this series in the same way that a lot of other people do. I really don't. I'm not saying Kelly is overrated as a writer, because she's not. I'm just not as impressed with this series as a lot of other people are, and I know that's probably going to give me some hate, and if it does, then it does. But I honestly don't know why I feel this way. Once this run is over with, I think I'm done too. Because I honestly think if they got better artists to work on here, why couldn't they keep Dexter Soy on the artwork? Why? What was wrong with his artwork that you had to get rid of them? That you had to get rid of them and give us this fucking ugly artwork on the interior? Everybody's got like an Arsenio Hall kind of fucking triangle head in here. Everybody's eyes, instead of being this far apart, they're like that fucking far apart. Everybody's got that pointy anime-ish nose, and everybody's got hair like it's a fucking horseman. I hate it. It's fucking pitiful. But, like I said, the story did flow very well. Sometimes shitty artwork makes it hard to read a story, and in this case, I have to say it does. But that's pretty much all I have to say for this. I mean, it was good, but god damn it, it could have been better. That's just me. That's just me. Moving along. Tried to keep him out for a while. You're up. About time I got some screen time back on here. It don't matter what channel I try to sneak on. I can't seem to do it without his permission. Oh, high and mighty Blugoblin of the real world, or whatever the hell you call your universe. Not showing any respect for us Earth 2 people.
Maybe if you showed a little bit more respect for me, I might consider being nicer to you.
Whatever. Whatever. It is what it is. Let me just review this book, because God knows I want to talk about it. I'm here to talk about Earth 2, number 18. Superman, the Man of Terror. I gotta tell you something, old Clarky boy here ain't never looked better. Now, all joking aside, this was pure bitchin'. Y'all can quote me on that. Pure bitchin'. Yes, pure bitchin'. Tom Taylor, wow, I gotta hand it to you. You must have gotten some tips and some tricks up the trade taught to you by Mr. Robinson himself, because this was a great read. Was it perfect? Not really, but fantastic shit. Loved the writing. Nicola Scott and Trevor Scott, y'all did such a good job too. I gotta give you my props, and it takes a lot to get props from me. Believe that. This was so good. So good. Where the fuck do I begin? Let me do the Captain Picard. Where the fuck do I begin? There you go. But to start it off, Superman is being a major douche, working for Darkseid. He's Darkseid's little boy toy, I guess. Don't tell him I said that, because he might kill me. He can't see or hear me. At least I don't think he can hear me. But I don't think he can see me. I'm surrounded with lead, although the windows kind of give me away, so what's the fucking point? But, yeah. Superman is a real dick in this book. Even when he gets a hold of Jay Garrick, you can just see it. He's a dick. But that's not the main focus. The main focus, is, in my opinion, is on Batman. This new Batman that's coming around. And at first, I'll admit, at first I was thinking it's probably just Brucey, who probably faked his death at the beginning of the series, and he's just come back. I was wrong. It ain't Bruce. But we still don't know who it is. But from what I'm seeing in this storytelling, I'm thinking, is this motherfucker even human? Because he takes a martial arts kick right to the puss, and it don't seem to hurt him. Even the girl who kicked him said it's like kicking a wall or something. What the hell? How many steroids did this motherfucker put in his coffee? I don't understand. What the hell is up with this new Batman? When Red Tornado steps in, I still ain't gonna spoil who Red Tornado is. You need to buy this series and read it to find out who Red Tornado is. I still ain't gonna spoil it. But after she steps in, that's where we started seeing more development for this new Batman. And Batman releases somebody from the cryogenics, and this guy seems to be really, really smart. Really, really smart. Like Alex Trebek smart, yeah. And I'm not going to spoil who that is either. Just read this book and look at what he says and look at what he does in here, and I'm very impressed. But then we get to the cliffhanger of this book. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now I know this ain't Bruce. Bruce would not do that. No matter what, no matter how much his buttons have been pushed, Bruce would never do this. Then again, this is Earth 2, so the rules to DC are a little bit different, so maybe he would. I don't know. But in my heart, Bruce would never do bullshit like that. Wow! What a moment for a cliffhanger at the end of this issue. Just jaw-droppingly awesome. Do yourselves a favor. Pick up this book. Fucking fantastic. Earth 2 number 18. God damn it. I need a drink. I'm out of here. Oh boy. He's just so compassionate with his opinions, isn't he? You heard what he said. Pure bitchin', I believe is what he called it. I'll agree with him to a certain extent. Yes, this was really good. Great stuff from Tom Taylor and the Scotts. Just awesome. Moving along. Fearless Defenders number 12. Oh my God. Really, Marvel? Really? What was it? Are you mean to tell me that this series has to go because of what? Maybe what? The sales aren't as good as you wanted them to be? Is it because the fan base, you might consider them a little weird or whatever? Get the fuck out of here. You guys at Marvel have a gem with this series right here. And what? You're going to cancel it because you were probably disappointed with the sales? Or is it because you want to pump out more Deadpool shit? Or maybe it's because you want to pump out another Avengers book that I'm not going to give a fuck about? Or is it because you want to put out another superior whatever character? This is ridiculous. You guys have a gem and you don't even fucking realize it. This book was fantastic. This book was fantastic, but Marvel won't know that because they're too busy focusing on making shit more superior. or they're busy focusing on more Deadpool shit. This is ridiculous. This was fantastic writing, a really fun read, a fun series. And despite how much I'm bitching about it, I still am I fell in love with this series. This was so well written. It's nice to have a series where you can read an issue and just simply have fun with it. Cohen Bunn, I give you all the respect in the world. Boom. Bro fist for you. Mr. Bunn, thank you. You've done such a wonderful job with this series, even with that hiccup in the middle of the series where we thought you killed off Annabelle. Well played. You got me to stay on board with this. You got me to love this. You got me to fall in love with these characters. And as you said and as you told me yourself on Twitter, I too am looking forward to seeing all these characters in other titles. I really want to see how far Marvel can push these characters. And it just really turns my stomach to see Marvel drop this because it's not selling well, or because the fan base might appear weird to them, or it's not superior or anything, or it's not another Avengers title, or it's not Deadpool, or any of that shit. It's not another Wolverine, so we can get another Wolverine title out there. I mean, this is... Sometimes Marvel doesn't realize how much of a gem they got sometimes until it has to go. Moving along, Green Lantern number 26, excuse me. Issue number 26. Robert Venditti and Billy Tan. Billy Tan's artwork really shines in here, but the writing from Venditti was incredible. Really, really good stuff. Now, in this issue, Hal kind of comes off a bit on the wrong side here. You know, he's policing to other people who use the emotional light spectrum, and he says, you shouldn't use these rings unless you are authorized to use them, otherwise we'll arrest you, we'll take you down and everything. In a certain respect, I can understand where he's coming from because of what just happened with the relic and everything. But at the same time, I can also understand where some readers might think he comes off acting like a complete and utter dick. Because it's like he even says so himself. He's like, the Green Lantern Corps is under new authority, my authority, and what I say goes. I'm just praying that DC doesn't start writing, does not start thinking about writing stories in which Hal comes off more like a dictator. You know, with his leadership of the Green Lantern Corps. Yeah, I'm still half and half on his leadership skills for the Corps, because there are times he comes off like a good leader, but there are also times he comes off like a major dictator. No, I didn't just simply add the tater. I'm saying a dictator wants everything done his way, and if anybody else has got an opinion, fuck that. He wants it done his way. It comes off that way. It's not actually stated in this issue, but it just feels like that when you're reading the story. This story was good. I will give it that. The action was good. The dialogue was good. The artwork and the coloring was very, very well done. Hal and the Corps seemed to win the day by, the whole, the my dick is bigger than your dick kind of logic. But he manages to win the day, and there's a bit of a weird cliffhanger at the end of the book, and I'm like, okay, this could go somewhere. I'm still intrigued. This was a fine read. Not perfect, but like I always say, for what I got, I did enjoy it. I was ready to talk about this book. Kick-Ass 3, issue number 5. Size Matters. What an appropriate choice set of words for the bottom of the book. Because what half this book basically is Kick-Ass having sex. It's just Dave Kick-Ass. It's just pretty much half the book is just him having lots and lots of sex. No more of the awkward, nerdy dork. I mean, he's a fucking man now, and he's getting himself a lot of pussy. That's literally what it is. Lots and lots of sex. And John Romita Jr. doesn't hold anything back. Well, yeah, he does kind of hold some things back when it comes to the artwork, but holy shit, you get the idea that that's what they're doing. I find it so funny. It's like, let's just, Mark Millar, I can just picture him at a board meeting saying, hey, we got an idea for the next issue. Kick-Ass is going to fuck a lot. That's what this book was. The other half of the book deals with the rogue cops turning over a new leaf, and they're dressing up like a superhero gang called the Skull and Bones Gang. Kind of a modern day twist on the whole Robin Hood gimmick and everything. And at the end of the book, that's when shit starts getting really gruesome and really real. And the last half of the book that doesn't involve fucking gets really gruesome and gets really, really depressing. So you get both excitement and depression in one book. That's fucking awesome. If you get depressed by the ending, just flip back a few pages and watch Kick-Ass fuck some more. That's pretty much what this is. The name of this issue should have been called Fuck Ass. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm such a bastard. I'm sorry. But this was fun. Usually I would shit on a book like this, but god damn it, I can't help it. I got a chuckle out of this. Every time I read it. I just had to read it over and over again and just laugh my ass off. But then I got depressed at the ending. I definitely recommend reading this particular issue for obvious reasons. It's hilarious. And I also find it funny that Mark Millar honestly believes that once you get in a relationship and start getting laid a lot, you stop being a comic book nerd. So what I say to that is, go fuck yourself. I'm in a happy relationship with a very wonderful woman, and I'm still a giant comic book dork. So guess what? Your stereotypical logic is fucking wrong! Suck on it, Mark Millar. But good read. It was a good read. I love John Romita Jr. as an artist, and that was no exception. That was great. Just fucking great. Moving on to Scarlet Spider, number 24. Chris Yost. Sam. It's funny because there's some sex in here too. I'm sorry. I'm such an asshole. But all joking aside, yes, there is a sex scene in here involving Kane and Annabelle. Notice that. Yeah, he thinks he's having sex with Annabelle, but it's not. Kane is obviously feeling guilty for himself because of what happened to Donald. You know, and he might die, or he might live the rest of his life as a vegetable, and he's just beating himself up about it. And everybody in the supporting cast is trying to say, hey, look, you did what you could. Kane actually goes to a priest to confess his sins in this issue. Holy shit, if that's not a step toward righteousness, I don't know what is for this character, considering how much of a monster he thinks himself to be. And even the priest points it out. It's like, well, if you think you can't be saved, then what are you doing here? And Kane actually goes, You know, for a second, and he's probably thinking to himself, you know what, this guy might be right. But just really, really good stuff in here. Heavy on the drama. The drama is what really sold it in here. The ending of the book, whoa. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Just whoa. And it's really another shame that this series is unfortunately ending here very, very soon. I'm going to be sad to see it go because, you know, for what it was worth, Scarlet Spider was a great series. It had its bumps in the road, but I will miss it when it's gone. Just good stuff. Alright, next up, the Superior Spider-Man number 22. Dan Slott, Christos Gage do the writing. You got Humberto Ramos on the artwork. Look, if you watch my bro, my student, my friend, the Mount Vernon kid, he's right. He recently did a 9-part Spider-Man Q&A session, and he did a great job, and I want to thank him personally for answering my questions. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. But he said it, and he nailed it right on the head. It's time. I think it's about time for Mr. Slott to step aside and let somebody else write for Spider-Man. Because the way this storytelling keeps progressing, it's not horrible. You know, I've read a lot worse Spider-Man stuff than this. It's not horrible. In fact, this was actually not that bad. This was actually pretty good. But it's just, here's the thing. Us comic book fans, we be fucking spoiled. We want Peter back. Okay? We had fun with it for a while, but now we're at the point where we're thinking, enough of this Doc Ock Spidey shit. We want Peter back. And I'm starting to wonder if Dan Slott's really listening to us. You know, it's only a matter of time before you basically alienate your audience to where your Spider-Man sales are going to go down because you're not giving us what we truly want. We want to see how Peter's coming back. But enough about that. This is the first part of Darkest Hours, in which Venom makes his return to the Spider-Man mythos and everything. And more, we get to see Ock completely chewing the scenery, hamming it up, and acting like a complete fucking douchebag. And Chris said it himself on his videos. It's like it's making the supporting cast and the heroes that he works with look completely stupid, because if they had half a brain, they would see how Peter was acting and go, that's not how Peter acts. Something must be wrong with him. But nobody's fucking thinking that. And the one person who figures this out has got her hands full with the fucking Green Goblin. Nobody else can fucking get a clue and figure this shit out. Hey, Peter's not acting like himself. We've known him for the past comic book timeline wise. Peter's probably, in his 30s. We've known Peter for probably 20-something years, and we've never seen him act like this, yet they think he's perfectly fine? Bull fucking shit! But for what this was, it was good. It was a nice read. Damn impressive cliffhanger. I will give Slott and Gage that. But enough about that. I'll just say this was a good read for what it was. Very nice. And that leads us into Superior Spider-Man number 23, part 2 of Darkest Hours, in which we get to see Ock use his skills, as it were, as you would call them, to manipulate Flash Thompson into getting rid of the symbiote. That's basically what this was. The cover is a dead-on giveaway as what goes on in this book. You know, if only Flash knew that Peter Parker and Spider-Man were the same person. It's like it kind of makes Flash look like a chump in this book. And it's just Ock's arrogance. It's going to catch up with him. It's only a matter of time before somebody close to him grows a brain cell and realizes this isn't Peter. Or he's not acting right. Something must be wrong. You know, and it's just... But like I always say, it is what it is. We can't control what Marvel writes. Even though sometimes I wish I could. Joe. This was a decent read. The storytelling did go very well. But yeah, the cliffhanger made me slap myself. I mean, face palm. The Superior Venom. Oh my god, I am getting burnt out on this Superior shit. Okay, Marvel, let's see how much more you can flesh out this word. Let's have next year the Superior Avengers. Let's have Superior X-Men. How about the Superior Four? How about the Superior Defenders? Well, let's see, what else could we do? What else could we do? the Superior Defenders. How about, what else can we do? The Superior X Factor. We already got Superior Carnage. We just got Superior Venom in here. Let's see. What else? The Superior Hulk. How about the Superior Spider-Woman, or the Superior Marvel, or the Superior Squirrel Girl. Let's see how much more superior shit you can force feed on us before we start boycotting your dumbasses. But yeah, despite all my bitching and ranting and joking and pissing and moaning, I will say these 2 issues of Superior Spider-Man weren't actually that bad. But like I said, enough. Bring back Peter. Alright, moving on. Tarot, Witch of the Black Rose, number 83. Now, what's the one thing Tarot is known for? Gratuitous nudity. Of course. But I'll spoil this just to prove that I read it, and not just stare and look at the pretty boobies. Hey, Beavis. This chick has large boobs.
Yeah. I like boobs. Yeah. Please.
Okay. But honestly, the way the storytelling is, this is actually pretty damn depressing. Seeing how much Tarot blames herself for what happened to her mother and her sister at the end of the Dark Fairy Realm storyline. It's just like you want to talk about the epitome of somebody beating themselves up. It's like she's so depressed, she doesn't want to do nothing. I mean, she just sits around and just sulks. She takes a bath, and she just sits around, just mopes around. She doesn't even bother to put any clothes on. She just mopes around butt naked, which I got no problem with. But I can just see in the comments now, you are a fucking pervert. But yeah, you gotta look at the emotions from the characters. I mean, nobody wants anything to do with Tarot. She tries once or twice to get her mother and her sister's attention to see how they're doing, and they just completely shut her out. And she's just like, you almost want to hear some sad violin music playing while she walks like this. It's almost like they're trying to make you at least shed a tear, going, "Oh, poor Tarot." That's honestly how it came off. And Skeleton Man's got his hands full, with the Dark Fairy. I believe Fenwick is his name. I don't remember his name, to be honest. But John's got his back against the wall, and he gets saved by an old friend, and I'm not going to spoil who that is. But it ends with some followers of Raven Hex trying to get her something, and that's how the book ends. And I'm like, okay, that was kind of a weak cliffhanger. But this issue was actually really depressing, storytelling-wise. The artwork obviously was gorgeous, but if you just focus solely on the storytelling, you're just going to be like, ugh. Oh, man, I shouldn't have read that, man. Now I need a drink, man. That's just, it's like, take it for what it is. I mean, it is an entertaining series, but yeah, this was really depressing. Alright, moving on. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from IDW number 28. This is the Kevin Eastman cover. Oh my god, this book was good. This book was good. This book was good. This book was good. This was good. Oh my god, this was good. Seeing Bebop and Rocksteady in here was incredible. And I'll be damned, they're not bumbling idiots. They are actually smart-mouth punks who are super strong, and they actually put up a good fight with the Turtles. Because anybody who watched the 80s cartoons knew that Bebop and Rocksteady, while at the beginning of the series they were kind of overpowering to the Turtles and they were kind of a threat to them, as the series continued on throughout the late 80s and early 90s, you really saw to see Bebop and Rocksteady as nothing more than simply cannon fodder to a good old-fashioned Ninja Turtle ass whooping. I mean, Bebop and Rocksteady couldn't even stand a chance against the Turtles if they wanted to. I mean, it was really pathetic sometimes. But they added that comedy relief factor to the cartoon that really kept you coming back. But in this incarnation of Bebop and Rocksteady, it's completely different. They do still have some sort of a bumbling nature to them, but man, their intensity, their strength, their presence is amped up, and that's a good thing. It makes them look like a very serious threat to the Turtles just by themselves. Now that they're working with Karai and the Shredder and the Foot Clan and everything, makes them even that much more of a threat. I have a feeling once this series continues to go along and we get to see more out of Bebop and Rocksteady, we're going to see some true respect for these characters instead of turning them into comedy relief who always get their asses whooped. I'm really anxious to see what Eastman and the group from IDW can do with these characters. I'm really interested, and I'm hoping they don't let me down. Now, at the end of the issue, they do manage to get control back of Leonardo. But it wasn't easy, and Leo is uber depressed. Really, really depressed to the point where he's probably going to consider leaving because he was so easily overtaken. You kind of wonder, can he be trusted? And Shredder and Karai have a little chit chat at the end, and I'm not going to ruin that. But this was a solid read. I enjoyed the hell out of this. Good stuff. I thank everybody who worked on this. Excuse me. That was really good. We're going to end it with Uncanny Avengers number 14. Oh my god. I'm not going to say much on this. All I'll say is, don't you dare, Marvel. Don't you dare take my Rogue away from me. This book gave us two humongous teases that I'm hoping Marvel will find a way to smartly rectify as the series continues to go on. But there's this big moment where I'm thinking, no, not Rogue. Don't do it to Rogue. Please don't. That's all I'm going to say about this book. The cover is fantastic, and it was good to see Steve McNiven back on the artwork. The artwork in here was good. The artwork in here was really good. Rick Remender does a nice job with the writing, but there's really two huge moments in here that just made me go, no! I can't wait to see how this story concludes. I can't wait to see how the story progresses. What's going to happen? I mean, it got my attention, but both in a good and in a bad way. The good, I want to see how this story unfolds, but I'm also afraid to see what's going to happen as we go further. Just solid read. Sure as hell got my attention, let's just say that. Well, that's all I got for this back issue review. Please subscribe to this channel. Blugoblin X is not going away. It's just not going to get as much. It's not going to get as much airtime as my 01 channel does. Please subscribe to both my channels. Don't forget about Dark and Entertainment Plus. Don't forget about Jennifer and I. We got our channel, Arkham Asylum Studio. Go check that out. Don't forget about my student, the Mount Vernon Kid, Mark Clay, Fast Act Comics, Deadpoolzilla, Brandon Hex, old buddies of mine. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and until next time, I'll see you all later.